I'm Cammie Benson. Welcome to the Heartland United Way's Scoops Ice Cream Parlor. Today I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know to be ready to go to volunteer during the State Fair. We're so excited that you're going to be joining us, and thank you again for scooping cones for a cause. When you arrive at the fair, there is unfortunately no volunteer parking, so make sure to park in the general parking areas and then walk or take the trolley over to the parlor. It's quite a walk sometimes, so make sure to keep time in mind so you have enough time to get to the parlor about 5 minutes before your shift starts. With that being said, let's go into the parlor. So Scoops Ice Cream Parlor is located inside the cattle barn right next to the 5 Points Bank Arena. So when you see the large windmills, you're right at the right spot. So just come in these double doors when you come in, and I'll show you what to do to get ready. Alright, so now we're here to volunteer at Scoops Ice Cream Parlor, and here's the first thing that you need to do. Go ahead and come to this counter and you'll sign in the volunteer check-in. There's tabs for all the different days of the fair, so you'll flip to that tab, and all you'll need to do is just sign your name and then make sure the agency that you're volunteering for is listed. If there is something listed wrong or if that section is empty, go ahead and cross it out and put the correct organization you're scooping for. After you sign in, we just have to get dressed, which is with an apron and a visor. So you go ahead and just grab an apron, and we're excited we got new aprons this year, so very cool. There we go. And then you'll grab a visor. The health department asks that we have our hair pulled back and with a hair restraint. You are more than welcome to bring your own visor or hat. If you do not have one, you're welcome to have one of our Live United visors. And for this year's fair, since there are still concerns with the coronavirus, with the Delta variant, we are going to be requiring volunteers to wear masks while in the parlor. As you can see, this is a very small space, and we have 8 to 9 volunteers at one time in this space. So thank you so much for your patience with us and for wearing masks while in the parlor. Now we are ready to go to volunteer. The most important part of volunteering at the parlor is wearing comfortable closed-toed shoes. Just like this. So please, please, please make sure to wear closed-toed shoes when you volunteer at the parlor. So after you have your apron on, after you have your hat on, come with me and we'll wash our hands. And as you can see, this is a very tight space at the parlor. So whenever you come in and out of the door, whenever you go check your phone or anything over at the counter, your next step should be come to the sink to wash your hands. And please be careful, the water is very hot here at the parlor and it tends to splash everywhere. Now we're ready to go. So the other important thing is gloves. So our scoopers and our runners, which I'll show you in a little bit, have to wear gloves when volunteering. So we do have a variety of sizes. We have medium, large, and extra large. We have an obscene amount of gloves. So if you get them dirty or if you rip one, feel free to just grab another pair. So before I go through each of the volunteer spots within the parlor, I need to show you what products we have and where we store it all in this small space. So this year we have 9 flavors of ice cream, and they include butter pecan, cherry nut, chocolate, cookies and cream, chocolate chip cookie dough, chocolate mint chip, strawberry cheesecake, vanilla, and sugar-free, fat-free, gluten-free vanilla. As for the products we put the ice cream in, we have a few options. First, we have our dishes. The yellow cups are the single scoop. The blue cups are the double scoops. So hopefully that will help when it's a frenzy in here, you'll know which cup to grab when you're looking at the ticket. We also have cake cones, which will be in the standing dispenser. They look like this. This can be a single scoop or a double scoop. And then we also have our waffle cones, which are a double scoop only. When I go to show you how to scoop, these are very fragile, so if you break one, it's okay. It happens to a lot of us, but we will go through that later. So now you're thinking, where on earth is everything stored? Well, I got you covered. Below our counter here, we have our single scoop dishes and our double scoop dishes. right above our water cooler over here, we'll have backup containers with dishes. So if you have a crazy day in the parlor, you always have a backup. And then if you look right here, these are where all of the cake cones are going to be stored. So if you open a box, I believe there's 6 of those long blue tubes for the cake cones. So that's where those are going to be. And if you're running out of waffle cones, they're going to be all up here. As for spoons, napkins, and gloves, we will put our gloves in these metal racks that are on each side of the cooler. For the spoons and napkins, they will be in this cabinet over here. So if you start to run out, run over here, and that's where you will find napkins and spoons. All right, so the first position at the ice cream parlor is the cash register / the order taker. So we'll go ahead and start with the order forms. When someone comes up to the window, you say, "Hi, I'm Cammie, welcome to Scoops, how can I help you?" So a few important things to take note on with our order forms. Very important is the name. You want to make sure to get a name for each person, because when people get excited for their ice cream, they're just going to grab whatever they can. So I'm going to put Cammie. And if it's a large family, you can go ahead and put the family name or just one name for all of them if it's really busy. So first you're going to say, "What can I get you?" And they'll say, "I want a single scoop of butter pecan in a cone." Okay, so we know they want a single scoop butter pecan, and then you want it in a cone because it's a single scoop, so it's obviously going to be the cake cone. So that's one. All right, so there's more people in Cammie's family, so I'll write Cammie again. And they want a double scoop of cookies and cream in a waffle cone. All right. 2 scoops cookies and cream in a waffle cone. All right, and another key thing to note is that each ice cream order is going to have their own slip. So if you have a family of 5, you're going to have 5 order forms. All right, so let's do another one. Cammie has a big family here. All right, so this person wants a single scoop of chocolate and a single scoop of mint chocolate chip in a dish. So what we're going to do is a scoop, 1 scoop chocolate, 1 scoop mint chocolate, and it's going to be in a dish. All right. And that concludes their order. So one thing to really keep in mind as well is that when we do these order forms, you do not want to put an X. You want to put a 1 or 2. That is because when the scooper gets it, if it's an X, they're not going to know if it's a single scoop or double scoop. So thank you for keeping that in mind and for using 1 or 2. Okay, now that we've taken their order, we're going to go ahead and put it into the system. So my first one is a double scoop dish. So I hit the image that has 2 scoop dish. That's one. I have a waffle cone. So you would click waffle cone. And then I have a single cake cone. So you just click that button. Let's say, for example, this person, they didn't want the waffle cone anymore. So in order to delete it, all you have to do is swipe with your finger and delete pops up. So you're just going to click delete, and now you have those 2. So if somebody cancels an order, you just get rid of that slip and throw it away. So let's say they have a coupon, because we have around 3 to 6 coupons during each fair. So for example, this is an example of a coupon that somebody could hand you. So if you want to get to the coupons, you just click this middle button, which looks like bullet points, and you'll click discounts. And this one is the undeniably dairy. So this would be the Midwest Dairy free single scoop. You'd click that, and then it automatically deducts $3 from their order. In order to get back to our previous screen, you would hit this 1 with a circle around it, and you're back. When you get a coupon, there's going to be a manila envelope in between the 2 registers. You just go ahead and put that in this envelope. All right, so now their total is $5. So what you're going to do is click charge. And it'll come up with a variety of different options for you. So if they pay with cash, for example, if they give you a 20, you would just hit 20 and it'll say, okay, here's your $15 $15 back in change. One thing to note is that we do not take dollars larger than a $50 bill. And we also have these fraud detection pins. So for example, with a 20 or a 50, you can just mark on it. And if it stays gold, that means it's valid. But if it turns black, that means it's a fraudulent dollar bill. Don't worry about doing that with 10s, 5s, and 1s, just kind of with the bigger bills. Another thing to do is if it's really busy and you don't really have time, rub your finger up against the jacket of the man on the bill. And if it has a texture to it, that means it's real, but if it's flat, that might mean it's fraudulent. So just to keep that in mind. So if it was cash, you'd click 20, the drawer would open, you give out the change. So if you're checking out and they want to use a credit card, you just go ahead and click charge 5. And then on this, it'll light up green. So what you'll do is you'll just tap the credit card if it has that 3-line symbol, or you pick it up and insert the chip. If they don't have a chip, you can just slide it right here and the card will go through as approved. If the customer wants a receipt and they've used the Square system before, after the card has been approved, it'll say send receipt. So you can do it that way. Or if they want a paper receipt, we don't print them here at the parlor, so we do have cards that says, please contact the Heartland United Way for a paper receipt. So after you take the order, you're gonna put these tickets and take it to the basket for the scooper to grab. If you notice there are tickets already in this basket, you're gonna wanna pick those up and put it underneath. That is to make sure that we are serving the customers that have come first. They're getting the first ice cream. And the next spot in the parlor is the scooper. This is the most hands-on part of the parlor, and I will show you everything you need to know from this side of the counter. So, one thing that you'll become very familiar with is our 3-compartment sink. So, if it ever gets ice cream everywhere, crumbs, everything like that, we do have this set up so you can easily clean the area. So the first sink is going to be hot, soapy water. And it's recommended by the health department that you change it out whenever it's cold or super dirty. This middle one is going to be empty for you to dump water into or anything like that. And our third area is going to be sanitizing water. So the 3-compartment sink comes in handy. For example, if a customer would come up to the window and say they have a severe nut allergy, we can handle that. So you would grab your scooper out of the hot water and you would do the 3-step process. So you would dip it into the hot soapy water, rinse it with hot water, and then dip it in the sanitizing water. After the scoop has been sanitized, what we would then do is go to our back cooler and open a fresh container of the ice cream of their choice and take a fresh scoop from there. We try very hard not to cross-contaminate flavors, but with 4 people scooping and the ice cream flying everywhere, there's not 100% certainty that maybe some ice cream didn't get in a different flavor. So if it is someone with a severe allergy, just go ahead and open a new container of that ice cream and do the 3-step sanitizing process. So first we'll go through all of the different items on this counter. Here is where all your waffle cones are going to be. During the fair, there's probably going to be stacks of 10 up here because you're going to be going pretty quick. And then you have your cake cones. I know there's some love and hate for this machine, but please keep the cake cones inside of the dispenser because it makes it a lot easier for all involved. It does come out without breaking. You just kind of have to go a little bit slower. So if you just kind of gently pull it down and shake it out, you have yourself a cake cone. So for those of you asking, yes, this does work, and yes, please keep using it during the fair because it'll help keep everything organized. And then over here you'll have stacks of the single scoop cups and the double scoop cups. So now we're gonna go ahead and look at the freezer here for a second. So come on over. We did get rid of a few flavors just so we could make room for the same flavors on each side. So we will have them all labeled so you'll be able to tell what ice cream you're scooping. And then we will have the sugar-free, fat-free, gluten-free vanilla in the other freezer just to make room for all of the flavors. a key thing to note is that these doors do not have a gentle close. So if they're closing, that hurts. So please be careful and please do not slam it shut. When it's busy, you're always welcome to just keep the doors open like this and just keep scooping. No need to keep opening and shutting the doors. The ice cream is down pretty far in this dipping cabinet, is what we call it. So it'll keep the ice cream cold enough so you can keep these doors open. So while you're scooping cake cones, please do not put ice cream in the middle because that takes a lot of time and really they're just going to be enjoying the ice cream that's on top. So just a quick note about our cake cones. Alright, so now I'm scooping. I'm going to take the top slip out of the basket, which on my side, so on this side it's going to be white slips, on the other side it's going to be pink slips. So one thing to keep in mind is you really want to keep this order form with you at all times. One handy place is going to be your pocket in the apron. You can just put it right there and continue to scoop. Where we run into problems is when people put the slip on the counter, turn their back and start to scoop, because when it's really busy, people are going to be running around and say, oh, no one's scooping this one, let's do it twice. And then we just get too much ice cream involved and then we have double orders and we have to throw it away. So please either hold on to it while you're scooping, but easier, just put it in your pocket in your apron. Thank you for doing that. Okay, now that I got this, put it in my apron. I'm going to grab the yellow cup because that's my single scoop, and we'll show you how to scoop. So come on over here. On either side of the freezer, we have scoops in the water, and so whenever this gets really cold or cloudy, you just dump it in the middle sink here and fill it up with just regular hot water again. So I got my scoop, and I'm looking at my ice cream, I find the chocolate chip cookie dough, and now we're gonna scoop. So what I do is I work from the outside in. So I kind of start from the outside and scrape it in towards the middle and make a ball. Okay, got a good scoop here. So I go ahead and just tap it in. That looks pretty good. And if you don't really know, you can look right up here on the wall. And to me, that's looking pretty good for a single scoop. But if you think it needs just a little more, what I like to do is just kind of get a little bit of a sliver. So kind of pull another piece out, kind of put it on top. There we go. So when you're done, you put it back in the water, grab your ticket, and I'm going to hand it to my runner on the white side. And that's the scooping part. So for example, since we're already scooping, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to scoop a waffle cone because they're just a little bit more difficult. So you're going to grab your waffle cone. I have my pretend ticket in my pocket. Come back over here. The hard part is when you're scooping something that's probably a little harder, sometimes the ice cream varies if it's hard or if it's really soft. So good news for all my past volunteers, we no longer have Rocky Road, so no more dreading having to scoop that. Thumbs up. So what you do, same thing as I said last time, just kind of scoop it towards the middle. Make a ball. Then you're just going to start kind of gently pushing in, because if you push in too hard, it's just going to totally break. So that's a good start, but waffle cones are 2 scoops, so we'll get one more scoop. All right, got my second scoop, and again, be very careful pushing it on. And there's our second scoop. Okay, so if we're confused again, not sure what it's supposed to look like, compare it to our picture here. So, yeah, that's looking pretty good. So then, again, you'll take your ticket out and hand it to the runner. And during the fair, you go through a lot of ice cream, so that means we have a lot of changing out of ice cream to do. So what I'm going to show you next is how to replace the ice cream. So if you come on in here, you can see all of them have this white border on it and the knobs. So for example, if a flavor is out, you'll go ahead and untwist the knob. Sometimes it takes a little bit. and you'll go ahead and take the order out. So the great news about this cooler is that there's the same flavor right underneath here. So if you get in a little closer, you can see that there's a grate under here, so there's another layer of ice cream underneath. So what you do is you would take both these ice creams out, and you would pull up on this, and the grate would come out, and then you can choose that ice cream. Another way to do it would be to grab that flavor from our backup cooler, which is by the door. So let's say we took out the empty ice cream and we're ready to put it back. All you do is you put the border back on, line it up with our metal piece here, kind of make sure it's snug, and you're going to twist this white piece on until it's tight. So a good thing to note is the tighter the screw is on this metal part, the less the ice cream is going to move when you scoop it. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. So that's pretty tight and ready to scoop. So you'll probably have to change out ice cream quite a bit during your shift, as we always have a line here at Scoops, which is a good problem to have. So we are good to go. And again, you have a manager here with you. So if you are kind of nervous about changing out the ice cream, you can always ask them, and they're here to help. So now we're moving on to our final spot in the ice cream parlor, which is the runner. So the runner is going to be taking the ice cream from the scooper and delivering it out the window. So from our example earlier, I have Becky's single scoop chocolate chip cookie dough. So as the runner, I'm going to come over here and grab a spoon. We usually only do spoons with dishes unless people ask for it. Some people ask for them with the waffle cones, but we don't do that right away. So usually we just do it for the dishes. So what we'll do is I'll take this and come over to the window. And as you can see, there are two windows here. This is the pink sides, and this is the white sides. So what you'll do is you'll go ahead and open the window. And a key thing to remember here is to say the person's name and the flavor of ice cream, because there's a lot of commotion out there, a lot of people waiting. So you want to make sure they know exactly what they're picking up and it's for the right person. So what I would do is say, Becky, single scoop chocolate chip cookie dough. And then they'd come up and be happy because they got ice cream. So after you deliver the ice cream out the window, you'll just take your slip and throw it in the trash can on your side. And then you're good to go. One thing we need to keep in mind is that once the ice cream leaves the window, it cannot come back in. So if Becky gets her ice cream and says, I wanted mint chip, not chocolate chip cookie dough, we would have to throw this away. We can't save it in the cooler for the next person. That's not sanitary, so we probably shouldn't be doing that. So you'll just go ahead and throw this away, and you would get the single scoop of mint chocolate chip for Becky. So the most important rule to keep in mind is that we just want to have happy customers. So if something goes wrong, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and correct it and give it to the customer, because we want to have them come back again and visit us during the state fair. The other job would be to help get water when it's ordered. So we do have a big cooler here of water that has water, and then we have white milk and chocolate milk. So the runner can help get those when they hear it being ordered as well. And just a few items to note over here. If for any reason you cut yourself or need a Band-Aid, anything like that, we do have a first aid kit that's going to be right here. Right next to it is going to be all of our cleaning products that you can use for our 3-compartment sink and sanitizing around the parlor. And last thing is we do have a container below here that has our aprons and our towels in it. So if you're looking for any of those things, that's where it is. So if you're volunteering at the very beginning of the day or at the end of the day, we do have opening and closing checklists that you need to check out. And they are going to be right up here on the wall on the clipboards. So our morning crew is really going to be responsible for putting in the new ice cream and restocking the products, while the closing crew is going to be working on cleaning. So they'll do the sweeping, mopping, and wiping off the cooler, because it gets a little messy in there throughout the days, especially the weekends. Another great thing about the parlor is you can see there are signs everywhere. So if you have a question, there's little reminders for the cash register person. There's examples on how big your scoops should be, and each shift has a manager from the Heartland United Way staff or the Heartland United to a board of directors. So if you have any questions, there's always going to be someone here to help you out. Thank you again for volunteering at SCOOPS Ice Cream Parlor. I cannot tell you how thankful we are that you are taking time out of your day to come spend with us at SCOOPS. And your time scooping is well spent as it goes to the organization of your choice. So thank you again, and please let us know if you have any questions. We'll see you soon.